Valguero has always been known for its beauty, but hidden across the map are tons of resource-rich areas that most players never find. In this video, we're going to cover every major farming spot for metal, crystal, oil, pearls, cementing paste, and every other resource that you'll need to thrive on Valguero Ascended. First up, this can be found at 3.8 latitude and 3.9 longitude, and this can be found over in this little hidden valley over here. Now this is a really good spot for just getting metal, but for the most part, you have a lot of other resources here. Here's your main metal deposit over here in this corner. As you can see, you have a good chunk of metal. It's not one of the best spots on the map, and it's more out of the way, but if you are looking for some metal, I would recommend it here. I don't know what is going on with the terrain right here. Weird kind of like X pattern, but yeah, down here you have other stuff, like you got a lot of stone, you have obsidian as well, got a good chunk of crystal, more crystal over here, a couple extra little metal nodes hidden here and there. So for the most part, it's a nice little secluded area for farming that a lot of people aren't going to be really picking. So if all your other spots are constantly getting farmed, come down here, you can get a little bit of everything. Next up, this can be found at 31.3 latitude and 93.7 longitude, and this is a nice little hidden area that a lot of people are not going to be farming. It is right next to your main aberration spiral entrance right here. Here's your surrounding terrain, but there is a little hidden cave right here that has a good chunk of metal. On the exterior, as you can see, you have a good bit of it just on the outside alone, but when you come inside, as you can see, this is very, very rich with metal. You have lots of things in here. You even have organic polymer bushes. You even have obsidian and a little bit of stone as well. So if you're looking to farm a good amount of metal and also maybe get a little bit of organic polymer just while you're out, I would recommend this one. It's very easy to find. It's very, for the most part, kind of centralized in the right area of the map. I mean, yes, it's kind of on the border, but it's a good area where a lot of people are going to constantly be traveling. So it may be getting farmed a lot, but if it's not farmed, I would recommend getting it. Next up, this can be found at 68.1 latitude and 20.0 longitude, and then here is your location. Now this is one of your metal locations. Now for the most part, it's not the best right here, but it's more kind of scattered, so it's not like in one specific spot. So you have metal down here, you have a good bit down there as well. It kind of spans around this whole mountain. Here's a pretty good area. It blends in very well with the rock, so it's kind of hard to tell that half of it is metal, but it goes all the way up to over here around your tree. This is your main metal mountain right here. You also have another metal mountain right there, and I believe you have another one literally right there. So, I mean, for the most part, if you're looking to farm a good bit, this is not a bad spot. You do have more metal down here on the sides, and it kind of goes all the way around the corners. So, good chunk. It's just a little bit more spread out, so you got to fly around a little bit to farm it all. Next up, this can be found at 26.1 latitude and 78.1 longitude. Here it is on your map, and this is another main metal deposit for just farming metal, but you also have extra stuff like crystal and obsidian kind of laying around. But yeah, as you can see here, these are your metal rocks. You have a lot of golden ones as well. They don't look golden anymore, but you do have a lot of just higher quality ones to farm. You do have it going all the way down the sides of the mountain. It goes down to there. It literally circles the entire mountain as well. So it is a good chunk. You shouldn't really need any more metal if you're on boosted servers. Again, if you're on official, I feel sorry for you. I don't even know why you guys do that. But yeah, you have a lot of these areas over here. It just spams around the mountain. And you also have more metal right there. You have a little bit of metal up on that mountain. And then I believe you have one other spot, yeah, right over there for your other metal. So you got a couple different areas that you can go to if you farmed all of this and you need more. So it is a pretty good spot. Next up, this can be found at 58.1 latitude and 6.2 longitude. This is one of your main metal locations, in my opinion. It is more off to the side of the map as you see here, but it can be found in the canyons as you're entering into the redwoods. Now this area has a lot of metal. So you have your main areas right down here. You have another spawn over there. You've got two more back just in here alone. It spans all along this. It goes all the way up here. It's pretty much this entire metal mountain area, but it goes all the way down here. It goes all the way down your path. It goes down there as well, I believe. I think there's more down there. I haven't really checked that out yet, but it goes onto the bridge all the way over here. It covers this entire span of area. It keeps going down over here. As you can see, you have lots there. It goes all the way up into here. As you're going into redwoods, you have another little area where your metal is up here as well. Coming up into redwoods, not as much up here, but you do have a little bit. Up here you have some more metal, not too much right there though. You got a little bit of metal right in here. And then I think that's it for the most part. There might be another couple little spawns in here, but yeah, if you're looking for a lot of metal, this is a spot that I think is going to be constantly getting farmed, so you might have to be careful coming out here. But it spans this entire area. It's probably one of the best metal spots on Valguero in my opinion, and it even goes all the way over here as well and kind of covers around this little lake. Valguero might have all the resources that you'll ever need, metal, oil, crystal, you name it, but surviving long enough to farm them all, that's the hard part. And speaking of keeping things running, this video is sponsored by Mitra 9. Mitra 9 is a non-alcoholic supplement that quite literally makes you feel good. These drinks give you a high, but without the impairment. They have a ton of great flavors, my favorite being root beer. If you're looking for a new drink to replace your coffee in the morning, Mitra is the way to go. Simply go to mitra9.com and use my code OUTCAST for 25% off your entire order. Now, back to the video. Next up, this can be found at 84.2 latitude and 18.8 longitude. And there it is on your map. Now, this can be found over in the redwoods, and there is a nice little hidden crystal cave that a lot of players actually don't know about. So when you're flying up here, here's your obelisk. I think you got Spider Cave right over there, I believe. But you have your little waterfall, and you can see it from the sky. Come look at this little metal mountain area right here, and directly under it you have a massive area for farming crystal. It is a very nice looking area too. I wish you were able to mine all of the purple crystals, because that would be pretty cool, but you can't mine those. You do have a lot of other crystal down here though, like your regular crystal areas, which is nice. I mean, this is a good chunk of crystal. This is all that you're really going to need unless you're on official. But if you're on unofficial, this is pretty much all the crystal that you'll need for anything, because most things don't really require too much. So yeah, definitely a good chunk here. This next one can be found at 46.8 latitude and 68.6 longitude, and this is one of your main crystal locations. So again, it is another metal spot that you can use. There are quite a bit of metal locations, but these aren't really as good, so I kind of covered this for crystal, because you do have a good chunk. Your crystal is these blue looking things, and so it looks a little bit different than, a regular crystal node. But yeah, you got crystal there, crystal here, another chunk right there. You also have a little bit over here, not much though right there. And yeah, for the most part, I mean, if you're looking to farm a good chunk of crystal as well, this is a nice alternative spot. This can be found at 32.9 latitude and 61.2 longitude. Then there it is on the map. And this is one of your oil locations. So as you can see over here, here's your lake. It is one of the main bigger areas. I mean, it's not really a lake. It technically kind of goes into the full ocean, well, top ocean part. But I figured I would kind of cover this one because this does have a good chunk of oil in it. There are some other better spots, but I figured I'd just kind of put this one on here. So when coming underwater over here, as you can see, you have a little bit of oil, but not much there. But your main oil nodes are going to be right in here. And I was only really putting this on this list because of the amount of them. Most of the time it's like one or two of them. It is this entire section. I mean, you look how much oil that you have here. So if you are looking to farm a good chunk of oil and you're kind of in this location or you're very close to it, I would recommend it. It's not deep. You're not going to have to deal with any big major dinos like megalodons. It's just going to maybe be a couple piranhas. Because every other map, when you got to get oil, you got to go all the way down. Well, on Valguero, very different. You don't really have to do anything. It's very simple to get it. Some of the oil rocks are kind of broken as they're kind of stuck inside of the terrain, but for the most part, pretty good spot. Next up, this can be found at 49.0 latitude and 64.1 longitude, and this is another area that can be found in the aberration zone. Now this is a pretty phenomenal oil location. Right under this lake, as you can see here, it is a little bit hard to see, so let's turn off fog. And then here is your oil. So yeah, here's what the fog turned off. You have a lot of oil right up in here, and it kind of spans around in a corner here. Just be careful as raptors spawn in this lake for some reason. I don't know why. Every time that I've checked it though, there's been raptors. It does keep going down into here. Also, I tried to harvest these and I thought that these were pearls, but you can't harvest them for some reason. And I don't know, maybe I'm stupid, but yeah, I could have sworn that these were pearls. Anyways, down in here you have some more oil kind of at the bottom of this area. It's not a lot down here though. Like you got 4, 5 spots down here. But if you're under in the aberration zone and you're like, oh, I don't want to have to go back all the way up to the surface. Well, believe it or not, some of these lakes actually have a good chunk of oil for you to farm. This next one can be found at 13.1 latitude and 80.8 longitude, and this can be found over in the snow. Now this is one of the smaller kind of silica pearl locations, but I figured I'd put it on this list just because it's a nice little secluded one that a lot of people shouldn't really be messing with, and that is this one under this lake. As you can see, you have a good bit of silica pearls here. It's not crazy for like a lot of pearls, but if you just need a small bit of pearls, this is a pretty decent one for you. You do have it also spanned around in the snow. It's a little bit more hidden and kind of hard to see. But if that one is taken, you have your main lake over there for pearls, which is not a lot. You have another small lake right there for a couple little pearls. as well as you have a little bit of pearls in this one. So for the most part, very centralized to all of your surrounding lakes. You can get a little bit. It's nothing crazy though. Your main pearls are going to be like deep underwater. This next one can be found at 42.9 latitude and 53.5 longitude, and this is a pretty good spot for just farming silica pearls. So this is your main area, kind of your ocean, but kind of go in the center right here, and it is hard to see under here because of all this, the different details that ASA has now, but there are silica pearls spammed all along under here, and there's a lot of them, as I'm literally not finding any. This is kind of embarrassing, but trust me, there is a lot of silica pearls. I don't know why I'm not seeing. Okay, I turned off grass just to make it a little bit easier because you really can't see anything with the grass turned on. But yeah, you have one spawn right here, two there. You got another spawn there. It literally just goes along this whole area, but it's mainly in this section down here. You have pearls scattered all along this entire riverbank. You got more pearls there. They just blend in very easily, so you got to kind of watch where you're going. But if you get an anglerfish and you come down here, you should farm hundreds of thousands if you're on boosted, of course. If you're on official, like 10, I guess, I don't know. But yeah, pearls are just spammed all along under here. You got oil, you got some metal as well. But yeah, it literally goes along this entire riverbank. So if you're just in need of pearls, you don't need to go all the way into the deep down just yet. You can go all along this entire section, but this is your main area right here for them. Just right in this little area. This next one can be found at 37.3 latitude and 61.3 longitude, and this can be found over in the aberration zone. Now when entering into the radiation area where you have your main Drake Trench now, you have a lot of these flowers. I know I just probably talked about it before depending on how I edited this video, but these are your organic polymer flowers. And just to show proof, they give a good bit of organic polymer. I mean, you can farm this with a dino or even just walk up on hand. And yeah, probably one of the easiest ways to farm organic polymer, and I'm just excited that yeah, they actually have these on this map. I think they were on ASC, but I'm not entirely sure for that. Like as you can see, I just got 600 organic polymer just like that. Now the best part about it is it's not just this zone for these flowers. They're spammed all around this area. So for the most part, they're deeper down there, but you got a patch here. Let's try to find some more real quick. You got another patch. I believe there's one there. But you pretty much got patches all over the place. Your majority of patches are going to be down here in the main like trenches though. Yeah, so if you're looking to farm them, this is a really good spot. You can farm a lot of organic polymer very quickly. You're just going to have to deal with nameless, reapers, and rock drakes, of course. Next up, this can be found at 28.0 latitude and 18.6 longitude, and this can be found over here in the snow. Now this is a great spot for farming organic polymer, and there actually is a couple of these. So you have a lot of these penguin spawns right here on the icebergs, and for the most part, every iceberg over here is going to have penguins, but this is a pretty big one. They spawn all around here in circles, but so do hostile dinos. So trying to find penguins with them is not really the best thing, but you do have more up here as well. They're kind of spawned all along here, and they kind of spawn all around for the most part, but your main areas are going to be right in here and right down on the iceberg itself. You do have penguins that are kind of swimming around down in here. They haven't spawned in for me yet because I kind of just teleported right over here. But yeah, the cool thing about this is it isn't just this one spawn. You have another area right there with just some icebergs, and pretty much everywhere that has icebergs over here, you're gonna have just a good chunk of penguins. None are spawning here at the moment, but that is another great spot. Got another great spot right there. You have one more big one, I believe. I'm not entirely sure where that one was. I kind of forgot. I think it's over here. Yeah, it's right over there and right over there. So pretty great spots for just farming organic polymer. But with the organic polymer bushes, I would kind of recommend doing that more. But if you like killing penguins for a living, go for it. This next one can be found at 57.9 latitude and 73.2 longitude. This area can be found over here by the green knob, and this is very well known for beaver dams. But of course, right as I'm showing you this, there's no beaver dams spawned in. But these little tiny circular islands are your spawn points for all of your beaver dams. You have one there, two. You do have a third one over here, which does actually have an active beaver dam on it. And these are all your giant beaver dams. The giant beaver dams are the ones from Ragnarok, and they got put on Valguero as well. But like this is kind of a basic one. You usually get a lot more CP out of this. Like you get 1, 2, 3, almost 4 full stacks of CP to get some of your, mushrooms and flowers, a little bit of silica pearls, and a lot of wood. So if you're looking just to kind of farm, as you're coming by, you also have the little dams, but this is your main lake for these. So when you circle around, you have this entire area that they spawn in for your little ones, and of course your big ones spawn on those little tiny little island area things that I kind of showed you. So this is one of your main spawns for the giant beaver dams, and they do spawn on the sides as well for the big ones. You just kind of got to look around for them, but for the most part they're going to be right here in this lake on these 3 main spots, and you got a lot of smaller beaver dams underneath in this lake that you got to look out for as well. So pretty great spot. It's just, for the most part, a lot of people are going to be farming this, so it's going to be hard to kind of get the big beaver dams. Next up, this can be found at 43.3 latitude and 63.1, and this can be found over in the aberration zone. Now, it's hard to pinpoint a good location for these gas veins, but as you can see here, you just walk up and place this down, and they come in little spurts of like 3 of them all at once. Now, the issue with this is that there are a good amount of them, and they're kind of just spammed in, groups of 3. So it's hard to pinpoint, like a great spot for these, as they're just scattered all around. But one of the better spots I guess I could find, it's close to one of your main entrances, as the entrance is right there. Oh wait, sorry, the entrance is actually right there. So you can easily go in and out. But I mean, for the most part, there's not a lot of them, but they're just kind of everywhere. I don't know how to explain it. So if you're looking for some gas veins, this is an okay spot, I guess. Next up, this can be found at 36.1 latitude and 63.0 longitude. And this is again the trench. Now this is also a really good area for just farming gems. Like right here, you got yourself some blue gems. So you see you get blue gems, crystal, and stone from these, and there's a lot of them. You have another spawn right up there, and you basically have areas kind of spammed all within here. You also get yourself some red gems from these right here. So if you need some blue and red gems right there, you got those. You have more spawns down here, more spawns. The trench is probably one of the best spots for farming most aberration stuff. But yeah, just another little area I figured I'd put in here because, a couple people might need gems. Not everybody really farms gems, but for the couple people that actually do, here's a good spot for them. Next up, this can be found at 42.7 latitude and 59.0 longitude. And this is your Drake Trench again. Now, the Drake Trench does suck for farming, but if you kill off all the rock drakes, you get some of the best resources down here. And this one being black pearls. Black pearls are a main thing that a lot of people look for on maps, and this is one of your best locations for farming these black pearls. So black pearls spawn here. You have another spawn right there. Another spawn, I believe, right there. Another spawn right there, and it basically spans across the entire area down here. So those are your main locations, but you have a little bit more right there, another location there, and then you have a pretty big spot right there, and I believe, and then there's your last one. So yeah, if you need some black pearls, the Drake Trench is definitely probably the best spot to get them. Next up, this can be found at 42.9 latitude and 26.1 longitude, and this is another phenomenal spot for farming black pearls. Now this is in the deep depths of the ocean. This area did get changed a good bit, like they changed it and didn't make it as big as it was, but yeah, this area is covered with black pearls. So here's one of your spawns here, and pretty much along this entire little outer bank as you're about to fall in the cliff, you should find a good bit of black pearls. So you have another spawn right here, technically 2 spawns there. As long as you just kind of follow it, you'll see black pearls literally everywhere. You got another one there. You got another one right there. You have a little bit up here as well, I believe. Yeah, like one there. Another good big one there. And then down in here, you have a couple little spawns, but for the most part, they're just right up in here. So as long as you're careful, because there are Tusos and Moses down here, be a little bit careful with that. But for the most part, it's a pretty simple area. Only issue that I've noticed with this location is it is hard to see, so you will need an eye to actually properly farm, because when you turn off certain commands, it just makes this area look like crap. I'm not too happy with the lighting, how they did in here, because it gets very, very dark over here, and this is what the majority of this area looks like. It's not the best, but yeah, pretty phenomenal spot for farming black pearls. Those were the 2. I think I showed you that other one. This one is a little bit better than the last one, and you don't have to deal with, as crazy of dinos. Next up, this can be found at 8.8 latitude and 78.7 longitude, and this can be found over in the main Wyvern Scar. You shouldn't really need coordinates for this one. And along the entire Wyvern Scar bank, you will notice these little tiny orange yellowish looking things. This is sulfur. So sulfur can be found all along here, but your more common locations are deeper in the lava trench. As you can see, you have quite a bit of sulfur down here, and I think that's just because it's kind of transforming into the lava, so they wanted to add a lot more. But you got sulfur deposits literally everywhere, so if you need a good chunk of sulfur for something, come down here into the Wyvern Scar. And also, cool little tip, every single Wyvern Scar on Ark actually has a good chunk of sulfur. So if you ever lost, you're like, where do I get sulfur? Just go to any Wyvern Scar and you should find some. Next up, this can be found at 38.5 latitude and 78.0 longitude, and I actually kind of covered a portion of this whenever we did the last one. That last location for metal was actually right over there. So yeah, over here is one of your other kind of metal-ish mountains, but this is more for obsidian. So as you can see, you have a lot of metal spamming around, but you have a good chunk of obsidian also going around the entire thing. You got 2 spawns there. You have a 3rd spawn down in there. You have a 4th spawn, I believe, right in there. A 5th spawn over there. And then you have, I think, a 6th area for obsidian. I forget where exactly that it was, but if you are looking to farm a good chunk of obsidian for something, I bet you can even convert that into, you know, polymer and stuff. Yeah, this is one of your higher areas, but for the most part, obsidian can be found kind of all just spammed around every little mountain. This is one of the higher deposits that I could find, though. Next up, this can be found at 51.9 latitude and 11.8 longitude, and this is another great obsidian spot. So I kind of covered it earlier whenever I was talking about the metal. The obsidian can be found right over here. So you have an obsidian spawn there, you have obsidian spawns all along this entire area. Also, sorry for the weather, wish I could kind of control that. But yeah, down in here, you have a lot of obsidian as you're coming down into this little base spot area, which if you don't know, this is actually a pretty good area to build your base. But yeah, it is also another good area for just farming resources. So you have obsidian all kind of in here. It's not as dense over here. This is more of like metal and stuff. But your obsidian is all down here on the cracks, the sides. It goes all the way up there. You have obsidian spamming pretty much this entire mountain. It's just more scattered. Obsidian isn't something that you usually find in a big group. It's for the most part scattered, so it is harder to farm, but this is another good area for them. Next up, this can be found at 38.3 latitude and 84.4 longitude, and this is another good spot for farming the corpses. I know it sounds a little messed up, but it is great for organic polymer and just, you know, some of the spoiled meat. Now, I did mine the ones that were here by accident. There were 3 or 4 of them right here, but they look kind of like this. So you're going to have like a downed Rex or a downed Stega or something, but they are spammed along this entire little riverbank area. They're a little tricky to find, but you can find them kind of all along the area, as long as you're kind of looking out for them. Like there's a big Sark. Oh, never mind. That's an alive Sarko. That looked dead for some reason. But you do have them in here. Like I said, I mined the main section. I wish I didn't do that because the video doesn't really look the best. But yeah, the corpses are just kind of spammed around here in the swamp. As long as you take out trees and stuff and you take out all the dinos, it's a pretty easy farm. Just be careful because Capros will take you straight off your dino. Next up, this can be found at 40.0 latitude and 36.7 longitude, and this is one of your main beaches. Now, I figured I would kind of put this one on here because it's a good way to farm just keratin and some other stuff, but you have the corpses. So your corpses, as you can see, they give you spoiled meat, organic polymer, and hide. It is a really good resource for just farming stuff like this, but you got your dolphins, turtles, and it goes all the way, I think it starts right here. So it starts there and it goes all the way around here. And you have a lot of corpses to farm too. So if you're looking to farm a lot of organic polymer, this is a pretty nice one. It does keep going down the beach here. And there's not too many down here though. Your main spawn is going to be along this whole section. But yeah, very easy way to farm organic polymer and just spoiled meat if you're looking to get like some narcotics or something very quickly. I highly recommend going and getting these corpses. All that you need is a pickaxe or a hatchet to farm them. Next up, this can be found at 25.4 latitude and 41.9 longitude. This is one of your main salt deposits. Now, this used to be known as a nice spot for farming metal as well over in that little area, but for some reason it seems that they took metal out of this location. I could be wrong about the metal. I'm pretty certain that there was metal here, but yeah, these are your little areas to farm that give you salt. As you can see, you get a good chunk of salt off of these. So if you need salt, which is a very specific item, not everybody is going to need salt, just come over here. Pretty much all these bones that you see here on the ground, not all of them, but most of them can be mined. So you got this entire little valley in here and it goes all the way around, spans around. There's a couple up there, but for the most part, I mean, you shouldn't really need a lot of salt to be fair, but if you do need a good chunk of salt, this is one of your main salt areas. Next up, this can be found at 97.8 latitude and 20.5 longitude, and this is another great area for farming salt. Over here in the redwoods, you'll see this little kind of ravine with a fallen tree on it, or you will be entering from right over here. There's a nice little cave entrance. Yep, right here. Almost couldn't find it. And you have more of these bones. Now, the bones are pretty phenomenal for farming salt. You have a lot of it, as long as you can get like a mining drill or something. I don't even think we have mining drills. Probably wrong about that, but I haven't really used one in a while. But yeah. This area is a lot more dense than the last area that I showed you, or you'll be seeing that after this, I don't know yet. But yeah, good chunk of salt, a lot of bones. You have a nice little fog effect in here. It feels like a literal graveyard. It's kind of cool. So yeah, that is your two main areas for farming salt. I know there's probably another one that's kind of small or something, but these are your two biggest. But if you need a lot of salt, I would choose this one over the other one. It's just more dense. But yeah, it's a pretty good spot. Hopefully I was able to teach you everything that you needed to know for just your main resource farming areas. There's a lot to cover with Valguero, and they actually updated a significant amount of spots, so I know I probably missed a couple here and there. But anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. It would mean the world to me if you guys could please hit that subscribe button. We are almost at 100,000. But anyways, thanks for watching.